If you learn this, I know this would definitely change your life as a trader. Just because I like to focus on these personal development calls just as much as I do in a private group, right? My private group, we focus on the weekends. We work on personal development because it's not about only looking at the charts. That's what we all think. If we just go so hard with studying the markets, studying the charts, breaking down technicals, I'm gonna just eventually become this great trader, what I have in my mind, what I envision. I'm gonna be a millionaire. It all starts with the mind first. Because if you don't change your habits, you're not gonna change your outcome. Just think about it. Your habits of what you did for the previous 6 months is what led you to this point, is where you are today. So if you're not satisfied with your bank account, if you're not satisfied with your mindset, then that means you have to change who you are for the next 6 months so you could actually grow into that person that you want to be. We do things backwards. We want the success to come before the change. We think the money will come, then I'll start acting like a CEO. We think that the money will come, and then I would be able to get this big house. I would be able to get this car. The money is a outcome. The money is just added on to the person who grows up to be that, right? Just to say it, like the money will come to you when you finally become your higher self. It's not going to come to you first who you are today. This is why the psychology part in anything, it's more important because what you know about money right now, based off of how you handle it, based off of your lifestyle, based off how you live. Your current situation is what shows what you know. So you can't lie to yourself or lie to other people when your situation is where you are today. So this is why you have to make that change, right? So first it starts with acknowledgement. It starts with knowledge. Then the wisdom that you gain most likely after this call is applying the information and actually making this change. This is why a lot of my private members is doing extremely well in life. It don't matter if they're a male or a woman. It don't matter where they come from, right? They come from different countries all around the globe. They change their mindset. They become more successful. The trading is just the outcome of becoming a better version of you, because that's when you're going to be able to grasp information better. That's when you're going to be able to ask the right questions. That's when you're going to be able to apply a better work ethic. That's when you're going to know exactly what you're doing this for, right? Things change when you start to change. Okay, so it's not about reading the next book. It's not about like, and you got to stop all of that, the motivational crap. You already know exactly what you need to do to get to that next step. You just haven't done it yet. That's just all that it is, right? I have a lot of people that says, hey, I want to join your private group and I want to learn from you, but let me pass the prop firm first, and then when I make the money, then I join. It's like, that's backwards. So you're saying money is going to come before your education. It don't work this way, but only in the trading industry people do that. It just shows that you cannot win consistently. You're just hoping for some lucky trade and get a lucky payout, and then it's like, let me just work on being a better person. And it never does that, because the moment you get that lucky trade, you're not thinking about growing. You're not thinking about being better. You're just thinking about the money. And then you're going to try to do it again, and then you lose. This is why in the trading industry, there's always a circle: win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. It's never consistency, because we don't separate ourselves from the way we think. The way we act with money, the way we act with our personal life, it shows in the charts. You're impatient, you're going to be impatient in the markets. You're not disciplined, you're not going to be disciplined in the markets. You don't have a schedule in your personal life, you're not going to have a schedule in the markets. It's related. So this is where your mindset, that when you change that, this is when your outcome is going to be a lot different. Okay, because now if I ask you guys, like, what are you doing this for? Like, really, have you ever asked yourself this? What is the purpose of you trading? More money? Get a job. But do you actually love this skill set? If you do, then why you're not going all in? You love sleep. I guarantee you don't miss no hour of sleep when it's time to go to bed. You love a game. Every time it takes you to get up and go to that game, you do it. But how come you're not going all in on this if you know that the game is not going to change your life? Damn sure sleep is not going to help you with anything, but this will change your life financially, right? And change who you are. So how come you take a back step to being a trader, but when it comes to your job that you hate, you go all in for, right? That used to be my problem. What was the change for me was, if my, like, I never used to like waking up for London sessions, and I knew I needed to because that was the time that I had time to myself to actually focus on the markets. But I love sleep more than success at that time, until it happened where my supervisor was like, hey, we need y'all to come to work at 5. I would be up at 3 in order to get to work at 5. And then it hit me. I was like, man, like, it shows that I'm capable of waking up even when I don't want to, but I'm doing it for my job. So I'm saying that this is my life, and I'm telling myself this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, but my actions wasn't showing it. I treated my job like that was going to change my life. So the moment I put that together, that's when I started acting differently. And this is what it got me here today, because I changed who I was. I had to change my personality. So this is what I want for you guys, okay? So write something down. Write down your goals. Like, what are you doing this for and why? Could it be because of your loved one? When I was in New York, my wife used to have to wake up at 3 in the morning to go to work. I used to hate it. I hated it, right? So I had the job situation, and then I had that. And I said, man, I'm gonna make a change now. I'm gonna be getting up now. Like, I just hated it so much that I went all in. I went all in. But once I started telling myself, okay, I got to take this stuff seriously, that's when I started getting the wisdom. That's when I was able to understand more. Okay, what really moves the markets, right? That's when I got into learning fundamentals. That's when I started taking trading a lot more seriously. That's when I started journaling. That's when I started being more patient. That's when I started being more disciplined. So it's not random. Probably you have to wait till your breaking point. You probably haven't gotten there yet. Maybe blowing an account, you're so used to it, it doesn't affect you anymore, right? But eventually, you're going to get to that breaking point. But when you do, this is for you guys that are doing well, is extremely well. This is for you. It is not a point now where you just get comfortable and enjoy your profits. When you start succeeding, you start getting up that hill. When you start hitting that gas, that's when you put that motherfucker down and you just go full force, okay? Because what people want to do is that they wait until they mess up everything. And then they say, hey, I need your help. It's like, no, when you start doing good, ask for the help now so that you can start getting better. And then when you get better, how could I get somebody else to help me so I could get even more better? But us as a society, we got it messed up. We wait until we lose it all. And then that's when they want to say, hey, I really need this one-on-one because I blew my account. It's like, why you didn't come to me when you had the account in the first place? So we can't be arrogant. We can't be cocky and arrogant. The most successful people have mentors. The most successful people continue to grow their education and knowledge even when they're on top, because there's no stop to knowledge. But we get comfortable. We get complacent. So when you understand that part, guys, this is what's going to separate you from the majority. Most people can't even get up the hill. Most of y'all are already up the hill and just like get comfortable, then you just fall right back. And then you just get up the hill again, then you get comfortable, fall right back. Y'all don't know how successful or how great your life could be if you would just give it 120%. You deserve to see how your life would be if you gave it all that you got. You deserve it. But we're afraid to give it all that we got. I don't know why, but we are afraid of our own true greatness, right? What happens when you put that game away? What happens when you put the distractions away? What happens when you throw the drugs away? What happens when you tell the friend no? What happens if you just stay focused in reading, you focus on your craft, you focus on your mindset, and you stick to that just as long as you go to work? how much greater of a person you think you'll be at the end of the day. If you just focus on getting better educationally, focus on how to manage money, right? You focus on how to get better with fundamentals. What happens if you put that much time as what you do at a job, you do that with your own personal development, where would you be in the next 6 months? You all know where you would be, but why you don't do it, right? So that's a thing that we all have to think about. You don't have to pay, like, obviously, there's not another book that's going to tell you this. You all know that, but we hold ourselves back. And once you start understanding that you are your biggest enemy, right? Start learning how to be your biggest asset. Get it? This is where things is going to start making sense. But everybody needs a wake up call, right? Because if you don't, keep doing what you're doing. In the next 6 months, you're going to be exactly where you are. You don't have to change a damn thing. But stop lying to yourself and saying that, oh, I want to make this type of, I want to make $1 million. I want to trade $100,000 account. You can't even manage the $100 account. So instead of like trying to flip accounts, treat it as if it was that account that you're looking for, because you're prepping yourself for that bigger opportunity, because you're going to get it one day. Most of you probably had a $10,000 account, $20,000 account before and blew it, right? You're going to get tested. But when that time comes to get tested, was you prepping for that opportunity? Most of us haven't been. So treat everything now as if you're preparing and prepping yourself for that reward, for your higher self. And then when you realize it, you will be successful. I hope this helps you out, guys.